Good morning again. It's Grandpa Butler. Again, we're hiking in the mountains nearby. It's still a little winter, and so this is a snapshot Pitt took. We're going to keep these a couple of aspens here on the right, and one of the fir trees here on the left, and some in the background. A little bit of the mountain. Instead of a clear blue sky, I think I'm going to go with kind of a sunrise in the background. So here are the colors we'll get in the sky. Where we're near the horizon, where the sun's coming up, we're going to have this bright yellow. As we get further away, we're going to have orange, red, crimson colors coming out that way. And let's do those first as we begin our project here. You can see I've just gone through and touched up some, scribbled really, some of those colors in there. And what we want to do next is get our brush here, any kind of watercolor brush is going to do, and just kind of dabble these colors in here. I also put a little bit of blue in there. I thought that might be interesting. I may live to regret that, but that will we'll see what that looks like. As you know, every one of these watercolors has been an experiment, a new experiment since we started doing this September 2021. And so we learn some things as we go along, and Grandpa's quite capable of making new mistakes every time he works on this. But you want to have fun, right? So one of the things that we've learned before is that we want to get these lighter, brighter colors in often first, so we don't muddy, have them disappear in a bunch of mud when we mix too much together. Next, we're going to do these trees here that are just behind our white aspens. What we're going to try and do is carefully work around the aspen trees when we put the crayons in. We'll use a very light green, a dark green, and a dark blue-green here for these trees, and we're going to try and save the for this foreground on the right-hand side for a tree. We're going to try and save these greens here. So that's our task next. And since the sun's coming up here, we want to get the kind of lighter shades facing the sun here. And we will start by doing that. Now notice when I come close to the trunk of the tree, I'm careful as Grandpa can be, and sometimes Grandpas can't be very careful, but they try to avoid getting green on the trunk here. So we have the light green highlights, and we have the darker greens here, avoiding the branches. The white branches, anyway, that show up in our tree. And so what Grandpa's done is he's got a permanent ink pen, and he's kind of outlined some of the foreground here. And then you can think of these watercolor crayons that we have as just another form of drawing. I'm drawing around here, and then when I'm done drawing, avoiding again getting on the white trunks here, I will try and carefully work with the brush around the trunks, and then finally put in the very darkest green here, blue-green on the bottom here for highlights. Remember, one of the fun things about art or when we're writing or anything we're doing is to have fun and to experiment, try new things. So what we're doing here with our brush here, and you can see Grandpa's neuropathy is always at play a little bit here, but try and get our arms here steady as we can, which is all right when they're not. We're going to, a couple of points here to be made. Again, is that around the trees here we're not spreading the colors, we're sort of dabbing the water in here so the colors mix a little bit, but not completely. We don't want to have one kind of complete. So you can see what we're doing here is we're trying to avoid getting some of the colors on the aspens. But on most of the drawings, and here especially, we want to dab the water on and not stroke it across and mix all the colors too much together. So I got the foreground tree here with these lighter greens here. And what I want to do, a little bit too much water on the brush that time, is just go and dabble it in place. Notice that I put the trunk in here with a little bit of blue here and there and some crimson to represent the trunk. I want it darker, but not too dark. And when I mix these crimson and blues together, it gets that kind of darker, almost grayish look to it. And yeah, now we'll dabble the trees in. Again, remember you want to dab these colors alive, like leaving some of the pigment there as a sort of indication of life, and not stroke too much. Frequently dipping my brush and coming over here and giving it a dabble here and there, sort of bring it to life. I'm going to work on the mountains. We're going to put the forest up there by just making little bitty marks with this blue-green crane here. Let me just show you what we're going to do. Yeah, just like so. A little bit up and down. And not following the picture perfectly well. There's a lot more trees in the picture that I'm going to represent here in my up and down strokes, but kind of doing that. We're going to put in these trees in the mountains by putting those strokes and then getting little dabs, brush over, is that the right word? That dab over these trees when we get them in. So I've just been putting in the trees with these little up and down marks. Again, I'm planning on leaving some of the pigment of these crayons behind. And so instead of just coloring it full in, I'm doing specific, as if I had a pencil in my hand, actions to planning on leaving some of this up and down stroke in here when I come over with a brush. Speaking of which, it's about time we brush things up and see where we're at. So you can see my strokes are, just like with our pencils when we're sketching, they're targeted, they're specific. But again, the number one thing is to have fun and try new things in life. color in our rocks, we're going to use our golden ochre here for these cliffs back here, these cliffs of rock, with a little bit of English red in them to lighten things up. Now you can see that that all works for us, we can still come at 10 and work around Pip's appointment. So that, yeah, everything is fine for us.